Morning, everybody. Hope you're all right and had a great weekend. Well done for your hard work at the end of the unit last time. We're now ready to move on with our new week. So I thought a different type of warm-up as well. So here you go. You've got, I think there's around 60 odd questions here, all related to your multiplication and division facts. And you've got 4 minutes. Pause the video, do as many as you can, doesn't matter what they're on, a bit of scrap paper, and then come back for the answers. Off you go. Okay, so here we are. Here are the answers. So what would be really good is if you pause the screen and you can then mark your work and come back when you are ready. Okay, so here we are with our new unit. Now you will notice that we are missing a unit out. Now we're not doing unit 9 online because it's algebra and we really need to be in school to do this together. So you're going to have a big chunk of your book that you're just going to leave. Please don't work through it because we are going to be doing that once we get back to school. So we're moving on to unit 10, which is all about measure, imperial and metric measures. Now we're going to be looking at measuring different things, converting between metric and what's something called imperial units, and we're also going to be solving problems and looking at all sorts of estimations with this topic. So today we're going to be recognising and estimating metric measures, and we're going to be recognising the correct units to measure mass, length and capacity, and doing some estimating. So for today's work here, we can see with our Discover, we've got Mrs. Dean in the kitchen and she's got 3 children measuring out different parts for their recipe. Now, Emma has got something on the weighing scales, Lee has got something in a measuring jug, and Alex has got a baking tray in front of her. Now, you'll see that they've all got numbers on their sides. However, Lee has spotted that these numbers mean nothing unless we know the units of measurement. And he's right. We don't know if Emma's weighing scales are in grams or kilograms. We don't know if Lee's measuring jug is in litres or millilitres. So how could we have a go? How could we have a guess at what they are measured in? So if we look at Emma's measuring scales, we can see that on there, she has got a weight, the mass of something, which is about 150. Now, metric units for measuring weight are either in grams or in kilograms, aren't they? Now, let's have a look at this bubble down here. It says, I know that 1 kilogram is about the mass of a bag of sugar. So 150 kilograms would be too heavy, which is right, isn't it? If you have a bag of sugar about this big, it weighs about 1 kilogram. So this couldn't be 150 kilograms because I think for starters, those scales would be squashed flat. So this must be measured, therefore, in grams. So this must be showing 150 grams. Now you can see that Lee is measuring out, which something looks a bit like milk, doesn't it? And he has got down the scale a little bit like what we've just been doing with our decimals, 0.25, 0.5, and this is settled at 0.75, which we all know is 3/4, or what do we know as a percentage? It's 75%. Now, this as a decimal, 0.75, now it couldn't be millilitres, could it? Because a drop of water is about 1 millilitre. So this would be less than a drop of water, and it's definitely more. Now, the units when you're measuring a liquid are either millilitres or they are litres. So we know for sure that this must be 0.75 of a litre, or 3/4 of a litre that he's got there. Now, I find that when I'm using measurements, I have certain things in my head that I use as a comparison. So I often think of a bag of sugar for 1 kilogram. I often think of a can of drink is about 330 millilitres, something like that. So about 3 of those gives me a litre. So they're good things to have a judgment of. You might want to do this at home today if you've got some weighing scales or a measuring jug, and see how many millilitres fit into your cup of tea. How many grams does a banana weigh? All those kind of things. It might be a good reference when you're estimating further down the line. Now here we're doing a little bit of estimating. So this girl's got a bottle of water that had 330 millilitres in it. Now she's trying to work out how much the cup will hold. So she's using that bottle to help her. This is a little bit like you could do at home today. So she has taken the bottle of water and she's poured it into the glass. Can you see that you can see the water is in here? And she's saying there's a little bit left in the bottle. And you can see just here, about there, look, is there some water left at the bottle. Now, it says on the side, you might not be able to read it, that the water bottle holds 330 millilitres. So down here, we can write the bottle holds 330 millilitres. Now she's decided the glass holds slightly less than the bottle because there's a little bit left behind. So we need to estimate, what would your estimate be for how much the glass is holding if there's a bit behind? I think I would estimate around 300 millilitres. So remember, when we're estimating, it's like making a sensible guess. What do I think that might be that's sensible? I'm not going to say 300 litres because that would be far too much, but 300 millilitres would be a good estimate. Now for this one, you've got to think about matching the units of measure for all these different things. You've got 1.5 or 1.5 something bottle of water. You've got flour that's got a 1, a little chocolate bar with a 30, and you've got to try and match them. So maybe pause the video and then come back so we can do it together. Okay, right, so now I think here, when you're looking at capacity liquid, it's got to either be the litres or the millilitres. Now 500 litres would be absolutely loads, wouldn't it? You'd fill a bath with that, possibly even more. So this one here, 500 must be millilitres, which leaves the 1.5 to be litres, and that looks about right, a 1.5 litre bottle of water. Now we've got here now with our mass, we've got 1 flour, 500 pasta, 30 chocolate bar. What do we reckon then? Well, which one's going to be the kilogram? Well, 500 kilograms, that's a huge amount, isn't it? That's 10 times the weight probably of a lot of you. So I think this one must be grams. Again, 30 grams, that's a very, very heavy amount. So, sorry, kilograms would be a very heavy amount. So 30 grams is more likely for the chocolate bar, which leaves the flour to be 1 kilogram, similar to the sugar, because we know that a bag of sugar was 1 kilogram as well. Okay, so again, sensible estimations as to what would match with which amount. All right, so for today, this is the important part. Please remember you are going to metric measures, which is unit 10. I'm going to write that down here. Okay, unit 10. You're going to miss out unit 9. Leave that blank. Don't try and work through it. Leave it for school. Pages 100 and 102. Send me some photos. Have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow.